What is up, ladies and gentlemen? In today's video, we will review a favorite of mine where night vision and stealth is your best friend. The game we are reviewing today is the Outlast Trials. I also want to inform you that the game was not given to me, it was paid from my own pocket. The Outlast Trial is a first-person survival horror game that showed its face for the first time in 2013, and people was overwhelmed with how exhilarating and terrifying this game was, and still is. If you have not played Outlast, Outlast DLC, Whistleblower, and Outlast 2, I highly suggest you do that before trying this game out. But we are here to talk about the Outlast Trials. The game was released the 18th of May 2023. The game is currently only released for PC since it is in early access on Steam and Epic Games right now. But it seems like the developers and publishers Red Barrels want to make the game available for as many platforms as possible with cross-platform play but no cross-progression. As always, I will do a brief presentation of how the game begins, and I don't really think it will contain any spoilers, but if you want to go in fully blind, I suggest you skip to this timestamp below. We can see a dark, empty alleyway full of garbage and rats. A poster blows with the wind and lands on the sleepy drifter that looks worse for wear. On the poster it reads, "Are you lost? Lonely? Poor, confused, we want you." The screen fades to black and we wake up with a bag over our head. We don't know where we are or what has happened to us. Finally, the bag over our head is removed and we are faced with two doctors that drill night vision goggles into our skull, and this is where our story begins. This game looks great, and they really succeeded in getting the atmosphere you felt from the first game. If you play the first Outlast games, you know that this game can be disgusting, and Outlast Trials is no different. There's nudity, blood, gore, disfigured faces, and crazy people all over the place, and that adds to the tension. Audio in this game is doing what it's supposed to do, keep you on your toes and listen for any weird noises that are out of place with your surroundings. If you don't, you might find yourself in a pretty bad place. The music also shifts from fast-paced when getting chased, and if you hear this sound, someone either heard or saw you, and then your only option is to run or hide. As you play through the prologue, which you can skip if you'd like, but it's not recommended, you will wake up in your own private room at a Murkoff establishment. This place works like a hub where players can create groups or play at it alone, as I did. You can have a group of 4 players, but you can also do trios and duos. And while you wait to find a group, you can do some arm wrestling in the lobby, which is a great way to practice those Dead by Daylight skill checks.
Oh God, he's giving you a good hiding and all.
He always does, mate.
You must have massive wankers cramp after all this.
When you pick up the first mission in chapter 1, you will have to kill a snitch. And that might sound easier than it is. There will be a few different enemies that will patrol the area that you have to avoid by hiding or running. You can also pick different items in the area like bricks or bottles that you use to either distract, slow down, or disarm mine traps. You can also find consumables like health bottles and antidotes. You can even find pick locks and a few other items that I will let you discover for yourself, but you can't carry as many as you want. You have 3 slots that are available for you, so be mindful of what you might need to prepare yourself. There are also different collectibles like posters and evidence that you can check later when you're back at the hub that gives some information about Murkoff. When you finish the first mission, you will get a grade between F to A+. If you did bad, the doctor will give you an earful, and if you do good, you will be praised. You will also receive XP, and the amount depends on how good you did, as in every game. You will also get vouchers that works as currency in the game. As you level up, you will unlock different shops where you can use these vouchers to buy rigs, upgrades, prescriptions, and amps. We also have dollars, which you can use to customize your character or your private room. The whole game is based on stealth. Since you can't fight enemies except for throwing bottles and bricks, but that will only slow them down, you will have to trust your ability to be quiet like a mouse and to make sure nothing can spot you. Hide and use distractions to make it through the map. Playing this alone is just amazing in my opinion. I love to use my wits instead of brute force, but that can't be said when you play with randoms.
I can show you. Okay, here, stand behind me. Stand behind me. Here, stand in front of the sword here. I'll open it slowly. Look.
Oh, okay. So it's Jesus. Brick at his face, and then you can run away. There we go.
They used to staring at me.
Follow me. Follow me. Don't close the door then. Are you f***ing...
Oh mate, you are bleeding everywhere.
Forza 89, get into the room. God damn it.
We just stood here.
Yeah, but just come into the room. Turn around.
He's outside, Mike.
Turn around.
Yeah, I can see him.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
shit.
Oh.
You're such a f***ing ass. You know.
Don't worry about it. I'm fucking getting electrocuted then. We'll be alright. I think I'm fucked.
Oh, I'm focusing him.
Fry, boy.
Go under. Go under. Under.
Try to fucking
There you go. There you go. Good job. Why are you going in again?
Fucking door now.
We're opening it. Get over here. Fucking hell. What are you doing?
Well, we're going back that way.
Go and save him, and then you go in to fucking die right away. Jesus Christ. People will run around like it's Black Friday, set off every trap, and be discovered by enemies, so I would recommend to play this with friends. But even then, it takes away something from the game. The horror element kinda disappears when you play with others. But it can still be fun when you really play together and plan out to get an advantage over the enemy. The door is open. I'm gonna see if I can run around the big one.
I see you now.
Oh, he got me. Okay. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away.
You can't. You better fucking.
He's after me still, the big one.
Just walking past the bitch just had a man join a burn.
The enemy NPC in the game works fine. They do patrols in different areas depending on where you are on the map. But there is some problem when it comes to reviving friends. I know that the game is supposed to be difficult, but sometimes it feels almost unfair when the NPC patrol around the bodies of your friends.
Right. My issue is, you see like Wicked's doing now, and he's been doing for 10 minutes, and that's crouched and walking. It's kind of like playing Dead by Daylight and only crouching without fucking the perk.
I was waiting for almost 20 to 25 minutes until I realized that the enemy won't disappear or go away. And sometimes there is 2 enemies in the same room and it's almost impossible to help your friends. Since this game is still in early access, I guess a lot of things will change and be worked on. So in the game you mostly sneak, hide or run to save yourself since you can't attack or kill enemies. As I said before, bottles and bricks can be used to slow down enemies by throwing stuff in their face, but you can also use this to distract them, but sometimes it just doesn't work. When I threw a bottle to distract about 10 meters away from the enemy, they sometimes don't react at all. Maybe there is a range gap on how far the sound goes. Okay, fine. Step on broken glass and everything from miles away will hear you and investigate the area. Maybe it was just a coincidence for me, but it happened a few times. There is definitely a story in this game, but you have to progress through the chapters to get to know more, but you don't have a goal outside of doing activities during chapters, and to be honest, I kinda like it. Feels like everything is a secret and that you have to uncover what actually is going on. My conclusion is that this game, even in early access, is impressive. During all of my playthroughs, I have not encountered any game-breaking bugs or other problems except for the things I mentioned with the NPC camping bodies of fallen friends and that sometimes distractions do not work. But in my opinion, these are not game-breaking and do not take away from the overall fun I had. The graphics look great, and running it on 2K with highest setting was not a problem at all. Audio in the game works perfectly. They nailed the atmosphere, playing with friends is fun, and a mysterious story that keeps you playing. The final verdict for the Outlast Trials is a solid 8 out of 10. The game is above average, and I am so glad that Red Barrel made this game feel just like their original games and that it didn't become a cheaply made Dead by Daylight copy cash grab. Is this game worth your time? Well, it depends on your playstyle. This game is made for stealth, but you can run around and finish mission faster if you are good enough. But if you like more fast-paced games, this game is probably not for you. There we go, guys. Another review is done and we can move on to the next game. I want to take this time to thank you for watching and letting you know that I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it and you have a moment to spare, why not check out my other videos on my channel? It would really help me out. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and remember, life is too short to play bad games. Let me help you find the best. See you guys.